Good morning and welcome. Welcome indeed to another edition of the Mark Moses Show podcast as we are broadcasting live from the Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Take back control of your life. Call them today, 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Also want to give a shout out to Walk On Sports Bistreaux in Vieira, home of the $5 Tito's and $4 22-ounce Busch Lights. All day, every day, walk-ons, Sports Bistreaux in Vieira, and Chumley's Depot in downtown Melbourne, where friends meet. Marcus and his staff do a great job. I know tonight they have comedy night. Yes, I will go on stage and talk about my dating life and get rounds of applause. That's what I'll do. All right, we are here early because both of us have very busy schedules today, so we want to knock this out with my good friend, head basketball coach, and superstar basketball extraordinaire. Yes, my great friend, Mr. Billy Mims. Coach, how you doing today?
I'm not doing so good today, Mark. You know, NBA playoffs, finals, Western Conference finals started last night, and my good friend Chris Finch didn't have such a good opening night last night. So I thought about wearing a black armband, but wait a minute. They're not dead yet, okay? It was only game one.
All right, I just want to say this for everyone watching. Yes, if you're wondering, why does Mark look so tired? I did the old man Florida thing. I had to go to the bathroom at 4:30 in the morning, okay? So I made the mistake of I went to the bathroom, then I could not fall back to sleep. So I was in bed doing the horrible thing, watching YouTube, watching TikTok, reading articles. Yeah, I know this happens to you, Coach, and I can't go back to sleep. So I kind of slept for maybe another 20 minutes after that. How about you? Does this happen to you from time to time?
I think it happens to everybody from time to time.
Yeah.
And my wife is actually the absolute worst at it, right? When she wakes up in the middle of the night, then her brain starts going, on just skyrocketing. She can't shut things off, right? And then I hear her, which wakes me up. I turn over there, and she's darkness in there. She's got her cell phone on. I see the cell phone light. She's going through reel after reel after reel for like entertainment, or she's playing games on her phone because the games relax her, so to speak. And I'm like, hey, go to sleep. She goes, I can't. My brain, I can't shut off. I'm like, I will tell you one thing, Mark.
What?
One thing I've gotten really good at. Shutting down my brain.
That's good. That's good to know. We're here with Billy Mims. I just wanted to say that on record, okay? Like I'm meeting with the press corps at the White House. This is my official statement. I'm going with it. All right. Here's the first stat I want you to know. Forget about the game last night. The one you want to talk about is tonight, they're going to announce who the MVP is. Now, for the last 10 straight months, you have been messaging me that the Joker is the best player. He deserves to win the MVP. And by the way, the Nuggets were eliminated over the weekend. And then you're still messaging me things about how great the Joker is. So I think when SGA wins the MVP tonight, I think he should accept the award at the free throw line because that's the best way to describe his game. He scores 30 a game, but I swear I'm standing up for Chris Finch and the Timberwolves. He gets every ticky-tack foul like he's James Harden, and it's just like I don't want to watch this. I don't want to watch you attempt 25 free throws a game. He's going to win the MVP, but I'm kind of with you. I think it should go to the Joker again. But before you go on for 10 minutes about why the Joker should win, I have one more stat for you. Just one more. Okay, one more. I had to look this up this morning. Who is the last U.S.-born player to win the MVP award? I had to look it up. It's let me tell you, it's 2018-19. It's James Harden, your son's favorite player. James, it's 8 years ago. What are you talking about? What? Okay, I'm done. I'm going to go get a sandwich. The floor is yours. You can talk for 20 minutes.
Oh, look, I can't do 10 minutes again today on it, okay? I promise I won't. I'm sorry, Mark. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, the whole world is saying, "Oh, it's SGA, it's SGA, it's SGA," and I keep going, "Why, why, why?" Because I agree with you. He's got one stat. One stat. He was the NBA's leading scorer.
Yeah,
that's it. He didn't finish top 3 in any of the other categories. Nikola Jokic had the most historic season we've ever seen. Ever. Okay? Ever. Throw him up there with all the lifetime, all-time historical greats in NBA history. Oscar Robertson didn't put up these numbers. Wilt Chamberlain didn't put up these numbers. He finished top 3 in scoring, rebounding, and assist. No other player in NBA history has ever done that. Ever. Okay? So then on top of that, so everybody says, but it's SGA, it's SGA, it's all along, it's got to be SGA, right? And then you say, okay, well, great. They're both in the playoffs. So let's see. SGA was the league's leading scorer in the regular season. What's he done in the playoffs? Well, let's just compare him to Nikola Jokic. In the playoffs, Nikola Jokic has scored 347 points in the playoffs this year. That's number 1, not SGA. Nikola Jokic has 169 rebounds in the playoffs. That's number 1. That's not SGA. Nikola Jokic has 105 assists in the playoffs. That's number 1, not SGA. And he has 28 steals in the playoffs. Number 1. Points, rebounds, assists, steals. Number 1 in the playoffs. Where's SGA? He's not even top 3 in all of those categories. So again, when they went head to head in the same playoff series, in the same playoff season, the numbers that have been put up by Nikola Jokic are undeniable. Historic season, historic playoffs. So you're penalizing the Joker. Oh, the most valuable player award, the best player. It always has. Supposedly, it's for the best player that year. The best player in the NBA this season is supposed to be crowned the most valuable player, right? No, not anymore, okay? Because without a doubt, I was watching the game the other night, and there's Doris Burke going, well, the best player in the world right now is Nikola Jokic. Oh, he's the best player in the world, but he's not going to be the most valuable player of the NBA.
This is like the 97 award where Karl Malone won, because they're like, we're just sick of giving it to Jordan, right? And look, it happened 2 years ago when
Embiid won. But wait, here's one difference, okay? Well, see, when Embiid won, it should have been Joker then.
That's what I'm saying.
For my money, Nikola Jokic should be getting his 5th straight NBA Most Valuable Player award.
I agree with you. I do. See, this goes to a bigger thing. All right. Now I'm going to be a real hater, even though I bet you SGA is the nicest guy on the planet. Okay.
Like, he is. And Mark.
Really is.
Mark, he's a great player. I'm not taking that away from him, right? Mm-hmm. He is a great player. But like you said, there's 2 things in his favor right now. Number 1, okay, he led the league in scoring. Half of that came from the free throw line every night.
Yes.
Because he is like you quoted it right. He's the current James Harden. He baits officials. He gets every call going his way. He's the current LeBron James. He gets protected by the officials every night. We all know LeBron got protected by the officials. And I'll say this. I made this point last night to my son, Josh, while we were watching the game 1 together. SGA reminds me a lot right now. He's very, very similar in how he's playing to young Kawhi Leonard.
That's a great comparison. You're absolutely right. Here's my hate on him. When are you like, wow, did you see that play? Did you see? Wow, that was incredible. No, it's kind of like John Stockton. He's just efficient. He's just like, I'm going to get my points, but there's never you got to be in the building. SGA's here. Oh, he's going to show you something. Never see that. Now, again, they won 68 games. He's their best player. 68 games. This is my buddy Tim texted me last night, who loves basketball. He goes, if they win the title, are they a top 5 team of all time? Like, I'm confused. See, isn't that weird? The look on your face. You have over 40 years of experience. You've seen great teams. No hesitation in your face. No, it's not going to be. No.
Hey, look, if he wins the MVP award tonight, I keep saying if, just with that measure of hope that some of those late voters, because everybody didn't vote early, some people waited for the playoffs to vote, right? I think they wanted to see that head-to-head matchup. But if some of those late voters would just realize, wait a minute, OKC's a better team than Denver. Why are we penalizing Nikola Jokic because he didn't play on a great team? He's the best player in the game today, period. If you put Nikola Jokic on OKC and put SGA on Denver, that's the best analogy.
Oh, you're right. If Denver,
I'm gonna tell you, if you make that switch, okay, my 40 years experience says this. You put Jokic on OKC, they win 70 plus games. 7. They might win 80, okay? But if you put SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, on the Denver Nuggets, I don't even think they make the playoffs.
I completely agree with you. Okay, look, he's going to win the award. I know this. I'll guarantee 100%. It won't be Giannis. I don't know why there's even a third candidate up there. I'm laughing. It's like, what? Who cares? But the best, I'm telling you, this morning I went to NBA.com and I searched MVPs. So you go backwards. It literally is like Joker, Embiid, Joker, Giannis. You're just like, what is this? What? So it's like moving forward. Okay, you get rid of Steph Curry. You get rid of LeBron. Who's Team USA basketball? It's Ant, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. Okay. Then you have to start thinking here. The next generation, Paolo Banchero, he's got to be up there. You really have, I'm not kidding around. Maybe Cooper Flagg, we'll see. Like, who is Team USA, the next generation? Who could win the MVP? I don't know now.
I would go, I like everybody you mentioned, I think will have a shot, right? I do like, again, this is not because of my friendship with Coach and so forth, but I think Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
I think I look at Anthony Edwards, right? Cooper Flagg's coming into the league, right? And remember, Anthony Edwards is only 23 years old, okay? He's a young buck out there, 23 years old. He's got a lot of basketball ahead of him, right? I look at Anthony Edwards. He was second in the league in scoring this year. He led the league in made three-point field goal attempts, and that's something that a year ago he wasn't that good at. He got a lot better. He's become sort of the current Steph Curry, the current Michael Jordan, not about skill sets, I'm not talking, but about work ethic. Anthony Edwards is putting in the work to be great. He's embracing what it takes to be great, okay? He's putting in the extra time, the extra hours, the extra shooting in the off season, and it's paid off for him. You know, it's going to continue to pay off for him. I mean, to be honest with you, I thought the season he had, he might ought to be the third guy in the mix instead of Giannis.
It's valid. It's valid.
But I look at it like this. I see the future of the NBA. Now, nobody's got a crystal ball, right? But trying to look at what's possible. There was a time when Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, they were the faces of the NBA, right? They were the poster boys of the NBA. I'm going to predict that within the next 5 years, the poster boys of the NBA might be Anthony Edwards and Cooper Flagg. They might become the Magic and Bird, right? Because there might become rivalry between them. If Cooper does materialize to be the kind of all-around player that people think he can be, he could be this generation's Larry Bird. Now, again, I'm not saying he's going to have the success of the championships, the MVPs. I'm not saying that. I'm saying his style of play could be, because he's a little bit like he's the American Joker right now. He's not as big as the Joker, right? But he has a full slate of basketball skills. He can shoot it. He can pass it. He can defend. His basketball IQ is off the charts. So in many ways, Cooper Flagg is the current American type of Joker, okay? Because he can put the ball on the floor. He can find his teammates. He can make great no-look passes. He can wow you with something other than making shots, okay? And that's what, like you said, what does SGA wow you with, right? Not a whole lot other than his scoring. But so I think those two could become the faces of the NBA. And again, Ant-Man to me is going to be on that MVP short list in a very short period of time.
It's a great point. And look, SGA is a great player. He is going to win the MVP. And if Thunder called up the Magic and says, hey, what would you give us for SGA? Everything. I'll trade you Mickey Mouse. Hey, I'll trade you Universal Studios.
Well, I don't. Wait a minute now. Wait a minute. I got to disagree with you. You know,
you wouldn't take him. You would take him.
I wouldn't give up Mickey Mouse for him. and here's why. Here's why. You and I both just agreed. We just said not 5 minutes ago that if you take SGA and put him on a lesser team, right? So you want to give up everything the Magic have built to pick SGA. You said everything.
No. All right.
Are you giving up Paolo Banchero?
No, if I'm the front office of the Magic, my job moving forward, I have one job. Team someone up with Paolo Banchero. I'm not kidding. If Milwaukee called up the Magic and says Giannis is on the block, the only thing I'm not trading is Paolo. And if Franz Wagner, if they're asking for Franz for in his prime, Giannis, I have to think about it. You got to give me 5 hours and we got to have real I'm not kidding. If you could now the Paolo and Giannis front court, I don't know who's shooting. I don't know what the hell that would look like. Okay, but I'm listening. I want you to know this. You tell your boy Chris Finch. I know you've been a friend of his for a long time, and you guys text, and he is a great coach.
Yeah.
And I'm wishing him luck as well. You tell him about Anthony Edwards, that he needs to grab the bull by the horns and take over this series. I'm watching that game last night, and I'm sitting there watching their offense is set up to do Julius Randle take 3-point shots. What the hell is this? Time to run your offense, and let's go. And it goes through the Ant-Man. Sorry.
Well, I agree completely with you there. And here's the thing. Ant didn't score in the fourth quarter last night.
Yeah. What? How are you going to win?
What are you saying? You had a 4-point lead at the half, okay? 48-44 at the half. You had an awful third quarter. The third quarter killed them, right? There's no doubt. They got destroyed in the third. I think the third quarter was 32-18, I believe, something like that, right? And that was really their only really bad quarter defensively, okay? Now, yes, at the end of the game, okay, they cleared the benches and all that stuff. But defensively in the third quarter, Minnesota did a terrible job. And Chris Finch prides himself on defense. He's always been more of a defensive coach than an offensive coach. He believes that defense wins championships. And last night you saw probably the two best defenses in the NBA, OKC and Minnesota. And in one quarter last night, that OKC defense dominated play, right? They did two things great last night. Mark Daigneault, again, I hate to say this, I think Mark Daigneault should have been coach of the year again.
He's the most underappreciated coach where you're the first human being I've met who even knows what his name is. Because people probably think it's still Billy Donovan's the coach. Like, you know what I mean? I give him credit. Look, again, 68 wins, home court advantage. They took it to Minnesota. I think what happened is, I just want you to know this, Minnesota took on a trash Lakers team that doesn't understand its identity yet since they got Luka, and they destroyed the Lakers as they should. Then you go to the next round, and you take on Steph Curry in one game, Curry embarrasses you, then gets injured. Then you win the next 4 in a gentleman's sweep. But if you look at the box scores, they didn't blow out Golden State. If Steph Curry was healthy with Jimmy Butler, Golden State probably wins that series. So 2 underachieving teams that they got through. Now they're playing a real team. I think they got punched in the face, and now the series starts. That's what it is.
Well, and look at last night's game too, Mark. If you game 1 last night, right? Yeah. If you and I had said before the game that the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to shoot 51 threes at OKC, and they're going to get outscored in the paint 54-20, I would have said to you, Chris Finch probably won't even show up.
Yeah.
He's not coming. If that's going to be what the MO for the Minnesota Timberwolves is going to be 51 attempted threes. OKC only shot 20 threes, but they were 10 for 20. OKC won the game in the paint and at the free throw line, okay? Every other stat was pretty even. But points in the paint, 54-20. That's the game. They won the game scoring in the paint, right? And also when they weren't scoring in the paint, they were attacking the paint, getting fouled, and getting to the free throw line. So they shot more free throws. They scored 34 more points in the paint, and they shot 50% from 3. Now, Chris said in his post-game press conference, Chris Finch made the point that we missed a lot of good looks. Yeah, they had a lot of open shots. Didn't make them. But then at some point, you have to say, guys, we're not hitting those shots. We have to start attacking the basket and creating some better opportunities to get to the free throw line, to get some easier shots, to get some offense going. There was a 12-0 run early in the third quarter last night, and that was like a knockout blow. Now, the game wasn't over at that point, but the crowd became electric. They were down 4 at the half. Then early in the third, 12-0 run. Chris, timeout, right? And all of a sudden, the game, for all practical purposes, it was over, right? Yeah. The crowd got into it. The players' confidence, OKC's confidence level shot up. The shooting was awful from Minnesota last night. The points in the paint destroyed by OKC. And the third area, turnovers. Minnesota turnovers. And I don't know if you watched the pregame of the show. They showed Daigneault in the locker room pregame. They showed Chris in the locker room pregame. Chris made a point in the pregame that obviously fell on deaf ears, right? He said, this team is an explosive defensive team. They're going to pressure a lot, and we can't turn the ball over because if we do, we give up runouts. Those runouts lead to quick, easy scores. So when you say the 54 points in the paint, right, 31 of those points were the result of 19 Minnesota turnovers. So, hey, points in the paint sounds like a tough order in the NBA, right? Because it's physical, right? There's size, there's athleticism, there's a crowd in the paint. So getting 54 points in the paint sounds difficult. Well, it's not when you're turning the ball over and you got a guy outrunning everybody down for an open layup. Guess what, Mark? That counts as points in the paint. 31 of their 54 points in the paint came off Minnesota turnovers.
That's a great stat. Yeah, and they won. It was like, I don't know, like 111-80 something. Like, yeah, you're right. That third quarter was just damaging. Here's what I want you to know. So going into last night, I looked at the websites, how much tickets are. So this is my transition for Billy Mims. Cheapest ticket to get into that game, cheapest ticket, standing room, $80. Cheapest ticket to get into Madison Square Garden tonight, $800. Okay, $800. Floor seats at the Garden. Eric and I here at work, we looked this up. Floor seats, if you wanted to buy them, secondary market, $11,000. And Eric goes, and I'll quote him, you could buy a used Hyundai with that $11,000. Great joke.
Hey, I hate to say this, right?
What?
But you and I have both been there, okay?
Yeah.
We've both been to New York City before, okay? You grew up in Chicago, right? Big Midwestern city, okay? Chicago ain't New York.
Oh, no.
Okay?
I
Now,
am on record as this. I agree with you.
Let's go one step further. And Oklahoma City and Minneapolis ain't no Chicago either, right?
No.
This is a stark difference in where these games are being played. You got 3 Midwestern cities, Indianapolis, Minneapolis, and Oklahoma City. 3 Midwestern rural American cities. And you got the Big Apple, right? And the Big Apple plays like the Big Apple. Madison Square Garden, the Mecca, as they want to call it, the Mecca of indoor sports in the world, the Garden. I'm sorry, Boston. I know you'd like to say you're the Garden. No. MSG, Madison Square Garden, the Mecca of the sports entertainment world, has always been the Garden. And guess what? Right now, getting to watch a basketball game in the Garden, you might as well be going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Driving into work for $10,000. Would I rather sit courtside with celebrities at the Garden for their biggest game in 25 years, or would I rather go to the Super Bowl? Like, as I start thinking, am I sitting by those Kardashian girls? That's my question. Do I sit?
Hey, here's one problem, though. Here's one real serious problem. Okay? What was it? It was game. The game in Madison Square Garden, the last game in Madison Square Garden.
So it's like last Friday or whatever against Boston.
No, the game in Madison Square Garden, right?
Yeah.
That they lost. Remember?
Oh, okay.
They lost.
I think it was game 3. Yeah, it was game 3 against Boston. That's what you're talking
in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
And yeah, because they were up 2-0. Remember? They were up 2-0.
Yeah.
Tickets for that game were more expensive than tickets for tonight. It was the toughest ticket to get in recent memory of any sporting event in New York City, right? And they lost. People paid out of this world prices, like you said, $11,000 for a courtside seat, and they got annihilated in that game. They got beat. Boston killed them. So I'm wondering if tonight those high ticket prices are going to be wasted money or not.
Yeah, it's cool also. You're absolutely right. And I'll never have this problem. I debate if I want to get fast food for $10. So I'm in a different pay scale as the people there in New York. I've been to Penn Station, which is right there at the Garden, and I've had lunch there with a buddy, and I've been at MSG, and that time my buddy Kerry and we bought counterfeit tickets on the street, and we go up to MSG. I still have the ticket. I'll have to show it to you. We go up. This is 2018. They were playing the Hawks. So we buy tickets, second quarter, we buy tickets on the street, completely counterfeit, trying to get in. We get up to the ticket guy, and he looks at it, and he yells in front of everyone, "This is a counterfeit ticket. This is counterfeit. You're going to have to leave, sir." So I've been in MSG. I've never seen a game at MSG. But did you see the videos of that crowd outside? Thousands of just, and here's what it is. It's a melting pot. It's like every nationality you could think of, and they're all united in New York of, I'm from New York and you're not. And they are just like got their Timberlands on, and they're saying how great New York is. And have you seen these videos? They're incredible to see.
I have. And you know what? I'm glad you brought that up, because I've said, people always talk about swag. They say you're going to be a great player. You got to play with swag, you got to come on the court with swagger, there's an attitude, right? And in my coaching theory, this, Mark, you've spoken at my summer basketball camps. My coaching theory over my entire career has been based on 3 letters, AIE. Attitude is everything. Okay. You play like a champion, you'll be a champion. You think like a champion, you'll be a champion. You work like a champion, you'll be a champion. Attitude is everything. Swag, attitude, those matter, right? But in New York City, right? it's not just about the players. The fans have attitude. The fans have swag. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So you look at them out in the street, they can't wait. They're probably already there. They're already lined up in the street waiting for tonight's game, right? The fans bring the attitude. And I'm telling you, it's infectious to those players. Playing for a New York team, whether it's the New York Yankees, the New York Mets, the New York Jets, the New York Giants, I don't care who it is, right? New York Rangers, right? I don't care who it is. It takes your game to another level. Now, saying all of that, the pressure in New York is greater than anywhere, because with that attitude, fans in New York believe they're always supposed to win.
I agree. And you know what's funny? If I'm going to trash them, the only team of the ones you said that actually can win a title is the New York Liberty, the women's basketball team. They're the champions. And when I see those crowds, and good for the Knicks, because, again, they've been bad for so long, I just think of Michael Jordan, because I'm selfish, where he went there for a decade straight and destroyed those jabronis over and over and took their art. Like, the priest guy from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, where he rips the guy's heart out and shows it to him? Kali Ma. That's okay. That's why, like LeBron, if LeBron would have signed with the Knicks in his prime instead of going to the Miami Heat, LeBron would have been the biggest thing ever there. Yeah. Forget about Jeter and A-Rod and Aaron, all these Yankees. No. Because Jalen Brunson's the man now. The man. LeBron, just forget it. If he was on the Knicks winning, they went crazy for Jeremy Lin for 4 games. That's how starved they are. All right. Stop to me. What were you going to say?
No, I was just going to follow up on what you said right there. I mean, they're New Yorkers are begging for a championship. They're begging for, like you said, they went crazy over Jeremy Lin.
Yeah.
New Yorkers are begging for their next big hero. They need a hero, okay? And I'll be honest, Mark, they have one now. They got Mr. Clutch now.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? When you look at, we just talked about Joker at the beginning of the show and how he led the playoffs so far in points scored, right? But Jalen Brunson leads in a bigger stat than that. He's number 1 in scoring in the fourth quarter. Oh. Now, I can just see this right now. The game's going to be on the line. Third quarter ends. Indy's up. They've had a little run. They're in the lead. And you know what happens? As the teams go off the court at the end of the third quarter, Jalen Brunson runs out of MSG into the street. He pops into, well, it's got to be an archive because they don't have them anymore, but he pops into a telephone booth and he comes out and he rips his shirt off and it's got the big S, the Man of Steel, Superman, Mr. Clutch comes back into the Garden. And tonight, the fourth quarter belongs to Jalen, Mr. Clutch Brunson. He's going to be the new hero of the Big Apple.
I am ready for this. And I'll tell you, who else was ready? So last night during that game, I know you saw this, right when they're going to go to halftime, they're like, oh, you always see this on TV. Oh, here's our halftime crew getting ready for the halftime show. So they show Stephen A. and Kendrick Perkins there in Oklahoma City. The look on their face said it all. Why are we not in New York covering the Knicks series? Why the hell are we in this hillbilly Oklahoma City right now? That's the look they're getting. Okay. And my counterpoint is, listen, the Mickey Mouse is giving you $20 million a year to talk children's games. You sit there and talk about this terrible series in the West. Okay. That's my thoughts.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I agree with you. And here's the crazy thing. I made mention of it a few moments ago, right? I don't know if there's ever been a bigger contrast in Final Fours than this one, right? As far as cities, as far as people, as far as attitude, swag, expectations, all of that. You can add Minneapolis, OKC, and Indianapolis, add them all together. The fans in those 3 cities don't have the attitude the confidence or the belief of the fans in the Big Apple. Knicks fans are number one in this Final Four. And I'm going to tell you right now, if anybody's going to win the NBA Finals, and it's not the Knicks, if any of the other three are going to win, they better win every single game they have on their home floor, because it's going to be tough to win one or two in Madison Square Garden.
It's a great point. And you know what's crazy? I know we got to go here in a second. So it'll be the 7th year in a row with a new champion. So there's parity. You need players. You can't just slip on a banana peel and show up in the finals. My cousins tell me this all the time. So Jalen Brunson went to Stevenson High School. It's in a Chicago suburb. My buddy, one of my best friends, went to Stevenson. All my cousins went there. It's like around Buffalo Grove. It's a suburb of Chicago. And my aunt tells me that they would go and watch him play when Jalen Brunson played there, and he became Mr. Basketball in Illinois. And that's like crazy to think about. And then he goes to Villanova, and I know you saw this. Jay Wright is on record. I didn't think he'd do this in the NBA. Amazing story. And remember, he leaves Dallas. Anyone could have signed him. And just because his dad played for the Knicks and had those connections, he's like, I'll go play for the Knicks. And people laughed at the Knicks at the time for signing him.
I gotta thank you for leading me into my next point, right?
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson's dad played for the Knicks. But the best soundbite out of the entire postseason was Jalen Brunson's post-game interview the other night. And they were talking about how great it was to get the Knicks back to the Eastern Conference Finals and the season they've had, the playoff run they've had, beating the Boston Celtics, knocking them out. And Jalen, in his comments, I don't know if you watched the post-game interview, it was the best soundbite of the postseason. He says, well, back when my dad played for the Knicks, and he goes, when my dad was on the Knicks team, because he didn't really play that much. He's not going to like that, but.
And he loves his dad. You know what I mean? He's just messing up. I think this is going to be a series. I could see where the Knicks win game. The Pacers are for real. They could play basketball. Let's not kid ourselves.
Yes.
I know everything's Knicks and what's his name? Timothy Chalamet showing up. Okay, great.
Hey, you know what? He's going to break out in some Bob Denver song. Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan. He's going to break out in some Bob Dylan song, at some point. I got a feeling he's going to dress like Dylan at one of the games. He's going to wear the sunglasses, and then people are going to think, holy moly, is it Timothy? Is it Dylan? Who is it?
That's why if you're Halliburton, here's what you need to do. You hit a three, you look him right in the eye. Like, you got to do the Reggie Miller kind of like this. You hit the three, dagger three to win the Garden. You turn him and you go, Dune 2 is boring. I fell asleep on HBO. All right, Coach Mims, we'll get you on next week. We'll update this. With this conference, we'll look ahead to the NBA Finals. Thank you so much for coming on today, and have a great day, buddy. Enjoy the game tonight.
You too, Mark. Enjoy the games.